Okay, so good morning, and I've got Grant Barnett here with me, mate, and good morning. Series 3 Slalom, very high standard of skiers, though, of course, in the C3 of Slalom.
Yeah, great to be here, Glenn, and 10 slalom skiers coming up for the Open Men's Series 3 preliminary round. Of course, we then go into Open Men's Series 2. And the big dogs, Glenn, Open Men's Series 1 coming up in a couple of hours' time, but 10 competitors here. The first one out today is Nicolas Bernardi from Italy. Nice opening pass for Nicolas. Beautiful conditions have greeted our athletes again this morning, as they have the first 3 days of competition. Of course, yesterday afternoon we had what could only be described as a wild storm come through, Glenn, that did bring proceedings to a close a little early yesterday for the ladies in jump. But we'll try to get them out jumping a little bit later this afternoon. My understanding is the remaining athletes will jump after men's jump. So if you're following along with the webcast or live here on site, we'll try to bring the ladies' jump conclusion a little later this afternoon. Nicolas Bernardi coming back in for his second pass.
Yeah, and it's 13 metre. I can confirm 13 metre. And Nicolas, I said his PB was 1 at 10.25. That's actually his practice PB. I've just had another look at his tournament PB, 3 at 10.75. So we watch him here, 13 metre. Very little breeze at the moment. If the breeze gets up, it will probably be a headwind at this stage, I think, from the start dock, although we'll have to wait and see. So possibility, some skiers, because I think today, Grant, I think the aim is to run 11. I think that's the key. If you can run 11, I think a really good chance of making the final. So I think as we go down through the seats, particularly if we get a headwind off the start dock, I think we will see some of the skiers possibly start on the 13 metre rather than the 14 metre, which would give them that 11 into the breeze. That's just some of my thoughts. But our first competitor, of course, started on 14 metre, Nicolas Bernardi, and he is going to go back in now, past number 3 from the start dock end on the 12 metre.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Glenn. It'll certainly take something up around 10.75 to make this men's slalom final. Of course, the cream certainly rose to the top yesterday with our last 3 or 4 ladies competitors. Some of our ladies struggled a little bit at the 12 metres, but then the likes of Regina and Whitney and Marin came out and certainly showed the rest of the field how it's done by running deep 11 or running 11.25 metres. So let's hope the guys can get some lovely conditions out here this morning as Nicolas Bernardi from Italy comes in for pass number 3. This will be 12 metres. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, from Verona in Italy, coached by his dad, of course, Claudio Bernardi. And this 12 metre line, looking pretty solid at the moment. Across to 4 ball, heads to 5 and across to 6. I actually think that the water looks better out there today. It looks great. In fact, I think it looks a little better than when the woman. I don't know why, but we're not seeing any movement out there at all at the moment on the lake.
Yeah, talking to the guys who have skied over the last few days and certainly through practice prior to the tournament, generally when there's a little bit of a breeze, it does take a little bit off those bumpiness that's out there. So we do have a slight little breeze here this morning, but nothing any of these Series 3 slalom skiers can't handle. Nice third pass there from Nicolas Bernardi, the 12 metres. As Glenn mentioned, it will certainly take something deep into 11 or even into 10.75 to be in any consideration for the slalom final. Of course, we've got a huge slalom field here today. 10 competitors in Open Men's Series 3. 16 in the Open Men's Series 2, which does include some independents also from the United States and Canada. And then, of course, we go into Open Series 1 with 10 competitors, starting out with Corey Vaughan from the United States in around about 2 hours' time, Glenn.
It's exciting. I look forward to it. And it's prime time viewing right now on the eastern seaboard of the US. I think it's 8 p.m. there, so welcome along, waterski fans from the United States watching. I'm sure there's thousands of slalom waterski fans tuning in for this, because this is the top 32 men's slalomers in the world coming up right now. This is the 11.25 metre line. I think you need to run this to make the final, and I reckon this young guy from Italy is going to have some of the better conditions of the day, I think, here. Around 1 he goes. Not a bad start on 1. He's got 2. Getting a little down course now. He's starting to scramble a bit around 3. He's pretty late now for 4. Cross to 4. Does he get around 4? I think he does. Maybe not quite back to the boys. So it might be 3.5. It's a judge's call. So solid skiing, Grant, though. Opening skier.
Yeah, great skiing from Nicolas Bernardi. I'm not sure whether he's got the 4. 3 is the call. 3 buoys at 11.25 metres for Nicolas Bernardi from Italy. So a nice start, and gives the other competitors on the dock a bit of a look at what they're going to require here this morning.
So Grant, I did a little research this morning, and historically at a World Championships, the men have had to ski about a course higher than the ladies to make the final. So yesterday we saw the cut at half at 11 for the ladies. So that would suggest that the cut will be about half or one on the 10.75. Who knows? This could be completely different because the conditions might be different, but that gives us a bit of an idea. That's why I'm saying I think the difference between running 11 and not is just so huge here today.
Yep, I don't disagree with you. I think if conditions stay like this, which are absolutely lovely at the moment, we'll see some great scores. All right, next competitor coming in, Rafael de Ozma from Peru.
I think this might be a 13-metre start here, Grant, just looking at how close he is to the boat there. We'll have to confirm that. But 13-metre, 32 off by the look of Rafael de Ozma. And that's a nice pass, really nice pass. So I think the thinking behind this will be, as I said earlier, he's going to try and get 11 metre from the start dock and take advantage of it. It's pretty slight, but just that slight head breeze that you've got from the start dock end. He's meant to tell us over there, but he's not there. That's the problem I had yesterday with Jacinta too. Makes us look bad, but it's not really our fault.
Rafael de Ozma from Peru. Nice opening pass. Score on the board from Nicolas Bernardi. 3 at 11.25 metres. Of course, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, logged in around the world to our live webcast from WorldWaterSkiers. We're at the 2019 IWWF World Waterski Championships in Putrajaya here in Malaysia. It's just gone after 8 a.m. in the morning on Friday, and looks like you were correct in your call, Glenn. That was a 13-metre opening pass from Rafael, so he will sit down at this end of the lake for 60 seconds before we bring him back in. 60 seconds on that end, Glenn. 50 seconds down the start dock end for our athletes. So as Rafael comes back in for pass number 2, 12 metres.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. So personal best is 3 at 10.75. So for him to make a slalom final, he knows he has to take a bit of a risk. So he's going to start it at 13 metre. He's now on the 12-metre line. Round 2 he goes. The young 21-year-old out of Peru, Lima in Peru. He's getting it done at the moment. 12-metre line. Round 5.
Whoa, dear me. Popped out there, didn't he?
Disappointing. Really disappointing. He was early enough to run that pass. I don't even think he hit rough water there, really. He just came in somehow, and it looked like the boot released to me, but I'm sure it didn't. It was just one of those nasty things that happens on a slalom course. You think you've got the pass, you're looking early, and then bang, in the water he goes.
I was just about to say, Glenn, he actually looked more comfortable there in his 12-metre pass than he did on 13 metres. But as I say, it happened very, very quickly. And he went down very, very early. Rafael de Ozma would not be pleased with that.
Yeah, so just to wrap up from our previous series from 2 days ago, of course, our current lead top score is 4 on the 11.25. We've got 2 skiers on that. I know Morgan Deal from New Zealand scored 4 at 11. There is another skier as well. I'll actually just have a look on our results so we can have that in front of us. But at the moment, the mark that's been set is 4 on the 11.25. To make the final, though, I'm sure you will need just a few more boys than that. So we'll wait. Next competitor up is Luca Spinelli out of Italy. Another sensational slalom skier.
Yep, Luca Spinelli from Italy will be next up, followed by Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico. Of course, 10 competitors in Open Men's Series 3. As Luca comes in for his opening pass.
Yeah,
looks nice and comfortable so far as he heads out to 4. Over to 5. Nice opening pass here from Luca Spinelli from Italy. As we wait for an official score coming in from Rafael. He'll be disappointing. Shame to see him go down so early there, Glenn. As conditions do look fairly consistent as what we've seen over the past 2 or 3 days here for the slalom skiers.
Yeah, the 26-year-old out of Torino in Italy, and his personal best is a very, very good 3 on the 10.25. So it's an absolute sensation. And he also started on the 13 metre. He's now shortened down to the 12. So I think when I walked in here this morning, down from the start dock in, it did look like it was a head breeze for the first pass. And I think a few of these guys are doing exactly what I suggested, which is unusual, and starting on 13 metre to make sure they get that 11 metre into the head breeze. Not that it's very strong at all right now, but that target, that it's like a big target right out there that everybody's aiming for, is to run that 11 metre line and get something on the 10.75, which should give them a good chance of making the final.
Yep. Nice opening pass from Luca Spinelli from Italy. Leader so far, 3 at 11.25 metres. This is the third competitor in Open Men's Series 3 preliminary slalom as Luca comes in on 12 metres.
Yeah, here he goes, and through the entry gates he goes. Round 1. Beautiful start on 1. He's got 2. On time and early for 3. Across to 4 he goes. Luca Spinelli from Torino in Italy. Drops the shoulder a little bit around 4, but he's okay. Around 5, and there's a good 12 metre pass in the end for Luca Spinelli.
Yeah, run a little bit down course there around about 2 or 3 and started to make me a little nervous, Glenn, whether he'd make the pass itself, but relaxed, settled down and came out through the gates for a successful pass at 12 metres. We'll shorten him down to 11.25 metres. Our leader so far, Nicolas Bernardi, with 3 at 11.25. That breeze has settled down nicely, Glenn. Really not much of a breeze out there at all. Maybe a slight breeze as Luca comes in for his 11.25 metres. 50-second drop down this end of the course. Of course, this is the slalom stock starting end. The beautiful Ski Nautique towboat. Pulling Luca and all of our athletes here at the 2019 IWWF Waterski Championships here in Putrajaya in Malaysia. As we mentioned, we've just got underway. This is our third competitor of the day. It's around just gone past 10 minutes past 8 in the morning here, as we bring Luca Spinelli from Italy coming in at 11.25 metres. Our leader so far is 3.
Yeah, crunch passes. I think he needs to run this to have a chance of making the final. Round 1 he goes, across to 2. He's actually looking pretty solid at the moment as he makes his way around 3. Heads across to 4. He's got 4. Looking so... Jeez, talk about commentators' kiss of death there. I thought he had that. He was all over it. He just took on too much of a lean. Hope he's okay there. I think he is. I think he's just disappointed.
Well, he certainly gave himself every chance there, Glenn. He was in that pass in a very big way and just had a really lock lean out of 4.
I think he may
got in deep at 4, and then I hope he is okay. Maybe if our safety crew can get out to Luca as quickly as they can. He may be injured there, so
devastation though, Grant, because he was early enough
in our safety boat. If you can head out towards Luca.
He was early enough to run that pass, but he just seemed to get in a bit of a lean lock. He's had a bit of a fall, and he's...
Yep, he does need some assistance, guys. So if we can get our safety crew out to Luca as quickly as we can, please. That was an extremely hard fall, and he does seem like he is in some pain. So our safety crew will get out to Luca as quickly as he can. Of course, he has gone into the lead. We don't like to see an injury there, Glenn.
No, the towboat's heading back there now. He can't take his ski off, which is a bit of a sign that he's hurt one of his feet or ankles. What a shame.
Dave, do we have a score there for the first? So official score through for Luca Spinelli from Italy, 4 at 11.25 metres. He is our leader so far.
That's the screen I want if I can get it.
Just making sure Luca is okay. Seems like a little bit of an issue getting the foot out of the hardshell boot, but he has done that now. The tournament towboat giving him some assistance there. So there may be a short break. Once Luca has been taken back to the start dock area, we do like to make sure that all of these athletes get the same conditions, so we may have a couple of runs through from the boat. He does look a little sore and sorry for himself with that ankle, doesn't he, Glenn? But let's hope he is okay. No, not weight bearing on there at this point in time.
You know, it's he wanted so badly to make the slalom final, as all of these guys do. It looked good. I thought he was going to get there, and he was hanging on there. He knew he got himself in a bit of trouble there on 4, and he hung on hard, and unfortunately he's tweaked his ankle or something's happened there.
So we'll probably transfer him across from the tournament towboat into the safety towboat and allow the tournament towboat to get back to pick up our next competitor.
Yeah, so if you just joined us on the webcast, I presume is the webcast up and running, guys? So no, it's not. Okay, well, you haven't joined us on the webcast because we've got some issues here with power and internet I think it's after last night's storm. So we're pretty privileged, Grant, because we're the only people in the world getting to watch this on TV, although I guess it's probably working on the big screen down there if you're in the grandstand. So he's waved to the crowd, Luca, and hopefully he's not too bad.
All right, that next competitor on the water this afternoon, Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico. 3 competitors so far. Of course, Luca Spinelli from Italy is in the lead with 4 at 11.25 metres. As the sun looks to burn through some of this cloud, it looks like it might be a warm and steamy day this afternoon.
Alvaro la Madrid.
Lots of rain yesterday afternoon, of course, where that storm came through. So if this sun comes out, we might get quite a steamy one this afternoon here in Putrajaya. As Luca heads back down to the start dock area, we do hope he is okay. That was a nasty fall, of course, an official score of 4 at 11.25 metres. He slipped into the lead from Nicolas Bernardi from Italy, who was on 3 at 11.25. And as we speak, that pass run through does come, Glenn, to make sure that conditions are exactly the same for all of our athletes here in Open Men's Series 3 Slalom 2 and 1. A huge field. 10 athletes in Series 3, 16 in Series 2. And the big dogs coming out in around about an hour and a half time in Open Men's Series 1. Starting out with Corey Vaughan from the United States, who will be an independent. One scratching on the list there is Jonathan Travis, won't be joining us, the independent from the United States. So only 9 competitors in the field of Open Men's Series 1. So if you do have a start list, you can put a line through Jonathan Travis from the United States, not joining us. But wow, some of the names there, even back in Series 2, Glenn, is quite amazing. Some great athletes in there. Adam Stadelmeyer, Cole McCormick, Stephen Neville, of course. What a great slalom skier. The big Canadian with the big long arms. And lots of talent in all of these Series 3, 2 and 1. The Italian doctor down there on the dock checking over Luca Spinelli. Many of these countries bringing their own medical staff here to the World Championships, of course. And let's hope that Luca is okay. He's in the lead at the moment with 4 at 11.25 metres, and you just never know what can happen. Glenn, we've seen some great scores from some of our earlier seeds in the ladies slalom skiing as well to get them through to the final. Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico, just waiting for that beautiful skinotique to pass through to ensure that conditions are absolutely identically the same for each of our athletes. Of course, we did need to pick up Luca Spinelli with the tournament towboat as he was injured on his 11.25 metre pass. So we're just, the medical teams are just checking him over as we speak. Haven't seen him put any weight down on that ankle yet, so that is a little bit of a concern as the Italian medical team and staff move Luca to the back of the start dock area, which is a preparation area. Lots of shaded spots there for the athletes which has been great to see. Very warm conditions here, of course, Glenn, for all of the teams that are competing. As we wait for our fourth competitor of the day, Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico. Looks like we will have one more run through to ensure, again, the conditions are exactly the same for all of our athletes before we bring Alvaro through. Of course, anybody just turning up on site or maybe watching the webcast at home, we did have an interruption yesterday afternoon in the Series 1 of women's jump. The advice is so far that we will try to conclude those athletes after men's jump this afternoon. It was a pretty wild and woolly storm that came through that put an end to things rather early yesterday afternoon, but great call from our judges to postpone that and to ensure that all of our athletes get the same type of conditions. So we'll look to run those last few athletes from Series 1 women's jump a little later this afternoon. Of course, Open Men's Series 2 and 1 coming up shortly, and then we'll move into some exciting action from all of our Series 2 and 1 today, getting to the sharper end of things with all of our competitors before we move into some finals on Saturday and Sunday here at the 2019 IWWF World Waterski Championships right here in Putrajaya, Malaysia. Beautiful conditions greeting our athletes this morning as they arrive on site. Many of our Open Series 2 and 1 will be coming in via the team buses, transportation, grab taxis, whatever you like, and coming down here and having a look out there and thinking, whoa, things look pretty nice. And they are absolutely right. It's been consistent over these last 3 or 4 days, and that's exactly what we want to see for all of our competitors. Of course, a little bit challenging in relation to a few bumps here and there, but as long as consistent all around, Glenn, that's the main thing for everybody. And certainly, as we mentioned earlier, the cream rose to the top yesterday when it came to Series 1 of women's slalom with the likes of Manon, of course, and Regina and Whitney, and some of our really top athletes getting out there running deep 11 and running 11.25 metres. It was great to see some amazing slalom skiing from the girls, and certainly would have given the guys who are watching on yesterday lots of confidence. As we look now to bring Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico. Our leader so far is Luca Spinelli from Italy at 4 at 11.25 metres. Alvaro coming in now for pass number 1.
Absolutely, and conditions very good right now. That wind has completely dropped away, so it's a good time to slalom, I think, for Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico, of course. His family hosted on their home lake the World Championships 4 years ago, of course, the large La Madrid's lake, magnificent water ski facility. That's a good opening pass.
Looked a little bit nervy here at the start, did he, Glenn? But as he continued on through the pass, he looked more and more comfortable. A little bit of a slow and steady number 1 there, but 2 side, of course, being his good side. He ripped a nice turn out of 2 there and got things back on track, and then looked pretty comfortable towards the end of the pass. He'll shorten down, of course, this end of the course. They will have a 60-second drop. And at the start dock end, slightly less, 10 seconds left with 50 seconds as we wait to bring Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico back in for his second pass.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too long. I'm picking his...
This is 12 metres? The confirmation through that Alvaro did start at 13 metres, so this will be 12 metres. Of course, lots of these athletes would be very comfortable starting at 13 metres, Glenn.
Especially in these conditions, you did
in these type of conditions, absolutely right. So this will be the 12-metre pass for Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico. We wish him well.
Beautiful scenes here. Glassy calm lake, sensational Nautique 2019 model. And here is Alvaro la Madrid on the 12-metre line, round 3. Looking to get it done here. He's around 4. Well, breaks forward on 4, but he's okay, I think, folks. Round 5, and he'll get to 6. A little late, but that's not a bad pass, actually, in the end, 12-metre line.
Yeah, great pass from Alvaro. He got quite deep out of 4, but managed to hang in there. Great-looking gate as well. Nice gate there. Nice tight turnaround, number 1. In fact, broke a little bit there, but managed to get it back nice through the wakes there. Of course, 2 side being his good side turn. Nice-looking turnaround, number 2. And really, it's all about just hanging tough out here, Glenn. It's really throwing the technique out the window. Lots of guts and determination.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit bumpy and challenging out there. So these guys have got to really dig deep, as the girls did. Some of our top seeds. Oh, he got in nice and deep there, didn't he? But hung on really, really well as he heads out to 5. Scoots around number 5 and then made it comfortably out around number 6 for a successful pass for Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico as we wait to bring him back at 11.25 metres. The leader so far is 4.
We're not getting this, and we're not getting the start line length. We need either if we're going to get it through the headphones or you guys are going to have to tell us. Okay, here we go, folks. 11.25 metre line now. Not a good start on 1. Around 2 he goes. He's pretty late. He needs a huge 3-ball here to get back on time, and he can't get it. So 3 on the 11.25, not the score he was looking for. Just didn't really get the start he was looking for, Alvaro la Madrid. So still the lead is at 4 at 11.25. There's 3 skiers tied for that at the moment. Of course, we've got Luca Spinelli from Italy who skied this morning. We have got Morgan Deal and one other skier which escapes me right now. We have some issues up here. I'm not making excuses, but we've got no internet in the tower. So we haven't got live scores going. We don't believe the webcast is going, so we're just keeping you informed here, of course, on site with the big screen TV as well. Of course, you can watch the pictures through the screen if you go down to the grandstand. This is all being recorded, though, as well, Grant, so people will be able to archive it and go back and watch this. If families of these skiers and water ski fans can't watch it live, they can always watch it later. So we are making sure we record it. But the end result is this bloke doesn't care whether the internet's working in the tower. His biggest worry is that he's really needed to run 11.25 and he's finished up with 3.
Yep, 2 athletes so far sitting on 11.3 at 11.2.25. Our first athlete of the day, Nicolas Bernardi from Italy with 3 at 11.25. Of course, our leader so far is Luca Spinelli from Italy. We do hope Luca's ankle is okay. He has 4 at 11.25, and currently Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico also sitting on 3 at 11.25. Next competitor up will be Adam Pickos from the United States, part of the powerhouse team from the USA here in Putrajaya this weekend. Great trick skier, slipped into the finals yesterday with a score that he probably wouldn't be overly excited about, Glenn, but he is in the final. I was chatting with Corey and Adam as the storm was flying through here yesterday afternoon up in the grandstand, and he was pretty happy and content about things. He'll obviously be out a little bit early, as we've got a replay up on screen now for Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico. His 11.25 metre pass ended up with 3. 1 behind our leader so far, Luca Spinelli from Italy. Big, long, late turn there around number 3, and really was, sorry, that looks like number 2, and was flying outside of 3, and really, really no chance of getting it back and making a good enough turn to make it out towards 4. So lots of speed there. Nice little S turn to see if he can get back to the wakes to score the 3, which he did quite comfortably. So a final score there for Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico of 3 boys at 11.25 metres.
Okay, start line length for Adam Pickos from the United States, 13-metre line. And of course, Adam, world champion, defending champion of the trick event, as Grant just mentioned. He's made it through to the trick final. Let's see how he goes in slalom here. Important team points as well for the US team coming up from Adam Pickos. He is one of their backup slalom scores. 13-metre line. We've currently got a 3-way lead at the moment. Diego Font, Morgan Deal and Luca Spinelli all have 4 on the 11.25, so that's where our lead is at the moment. As we watch, we'll watch a slow-mo here, Grant, but he runs this 13-metre pass.
Yeah, nice, comfortable opening pass from Adam Pickos. Impressive here. He's probably the smoothest of our opening passes so far. 13 metres confirmed as we look at the replay from WorldWaterSkiers. A little bit of a slow start around number 1, but he really picked things up as he progressed through the course. Lovely smooth opening pass from Adam Pickos from the United States. 13 metres. Slaloming on the good. From Destin in Florida. As I said, a member of the Powerhouse USA team here this weekend. And a great opening pass there from Adam Pickos. We'll shorten him down to 12 metres and bring him back on. As we mentioned, leader so far is Luca Spinelli from Italy with 4 at 11.25 metres.
Yep, so we'll be back soon with a 12-metre pass. Just watch the end of this replay here with Adam as he comes around 5 and heads across to 6. This is his 13-metre pass, his 32 off, his starting pass. And back live soon, hopefully. Here we go, because here's Adam Pickos now, and this is a 12-metre line. Beautiful condition, absolutely perfect at the moment here at Putrajaya for this men's Seed 3 Slalom elimination round. Here he goes, into 1 ball he goes, round 1. It's pretty solid here, across to 2, he's around 2. Adam Pickos, 35 off, 12-metre line. Cross to 5, that's a nice pass, that's a great pass, Grant.
Yeah, didn't he look comfortable again? I think this was just about as nice as his opening pass as well there, Glenn. Great 12 metres from Adam Pickos. Of course, famous name in world water skiing. Dad being one of the great trickers of all time.
Absolutely.
2-time world trick champion, world record holder. And one of the nicest guys in water skiing as well is Dad Corey. A bit of a nervous start around there, number 1, as he did on his opening pass as well. So hopefully he can sort that out for 11 metres because he's certainly going to need that.
Actually, Grant, not everybody probably realises.
Great 2 there.
That's a great 2.
Wow.
Wow. He needed that too because he was getting a little down course. Just how important this slalom is for the US team, this set of slalom for Adam Pickos, because the way it works for the teams event, in the USA have a lot of very good slalomers, but they can't really afford to put, you know, your Nate Smiths and your Corey Vaughns, all those sort of guys in, because they can't. You have to stack the team with guys that are at least 2 eventers or 3 eventers. So if you look at them, of course they've got Regina Jacobs in their team, they've got Taylor Garcia, and Adam Pickos, I think, as well. I think they need Adam
All right, Adam Pickos, 11.25 metres. Number 4 is the leader so far. Round number 1. Here's across to 2 now, around 2. Can he get outside 3 and across to 4? Great looking number 3 there. Hooks it around number 4. Come on, Adam, as he heads over to number 5. Wraps up number 5. And the first competitor in Series 3 has just ran 11.25 metres. Adam Pickos from the United States. Great pass, Glenn.
Sensational. And, you know, I sat down in this chair this morning with you and I said that 1 at 10.75 would quite possibly get you into the final. Well, I think Adam Pickos is looking real good. We'd like to get 1 at 10.75, so that's absolutely sensational slalom skiing. And what that will do, give a lot of confidence to the guys still on the dock. They'll be starting to think, in these conditions, as long as these conditions hold, you know, what would we know? 1 at 10.75 may not be enough. It might end up being 3 or 4 at 10.75, so let's just wait and see. But that is absolutely sensational slaloming, not only for Adam Pickos, but also for Team USA.
10.75 metre pass from Adam Pickos from the United States. Coming in 10.75. Let's see what he's got.
Yep, so obviously every boy here is worth its weight in gold in terms of making a final, and he's just overcooked one a little bit there. That could be significant because if the cut ends up being 1 or 2, he's going to maybe be a little disappointed that he got half off there, but he's going for it. He's trying to get
Confirmed score of half for Adam Pickos, but it was great to see the commitment there, Glenn, that he knew exactly what he needed. He's going to need at least probably get outside of 2 or maybe across to 3 to have any assurance of the final. There was no point standing up around number 1 and just tickling over to number 2 and getting outside of 2. He knew he had to be committed here at 1. It's exactly what he did. Unfortunately, didn't work out for him, but great skiing for Adam Pickos. With a half at 10.75 is the confirmed score for Adam Pickos from the United States. He is your leader from Luca Spinelli from Italy with 4 at 11.25. Then we've got a deadlock at 3rd position at the moment with Nicolas Bernardi from Italy with 3 at 11.25, and also Alvaro la Madrid from Mexico.
Yeah, okay, so next competitor we go to France, and it's Tanguy Daylan, of course, out of France, Team France member, solid overall skier. 14 metre start on this one, so slightly different. We're going back to the yellow shortening, back to 28 off, 14.25. Grant, these conditions are very good right now.
Yep,
beautiful.
Absolutely perfect out there for all of our athletes. Extremely consistent with what we've seen over the last 2 or 3 days as we bring on Tanguy Daylan from France, 14.25 metres for an opening pass. Heads out to number 5, wraps up 5 and across to 6. Nice opening pass. And of course, many of these Series 2-1 competitors would be arriving on site as we speak, Glenn. They would have seen Adam Pickos just run a nice comfortable 11.25 metres. And I will say comfortable as well, because it was. And that's exactly what we want to see. That would bring a lot of confidence to those guys who are still to come in Series 3, 2, 1. Of course, 10 competitors in Open Men's Series 3 here before we move into Men's Series 2 with 16 of the world's best before moving into Series 1 with 9 competitors. One scratching, Jonathan Travis, not here from the United States. If you do have a stars list, you can put a pen through Jonathan Travis. Will not be competing here
Actually,
this morning.
On that, Grant, if you know of anyone who is not competing and still on this list, it would be very helpful for us up here if you can just let us know. We like to add count ahead on how many places.
It's coming back in at 12 metres, elected to start at 14.25. He's going to need to run this and the next pass if he's got any chance of moving through to the finals. Leader so far at half at 10.75. This is 12 metres, Tanguy Daylan from France.
Yeah, 12 metre line now, of course, as Grant just said. He's getting it done. Pretty nice out of 3, around 4. Heads for 5. This is a good pass, no problem at all. 23-year-old, resides in Claremont in Florida in the US of A. Originally from Point Au Canoners in France, wherever that is. But he's, as I said, 23 years of age. Personal best is 4 on the 10.75. Very good overall skier, of course, in the French team, so the French team will be looking for him to ski really well. So 4 at 10.75, he gives him a good shot of getting through this 11 metre line, I would have thought. He would have done it on a number of occasions. So this is the aim, of course, now. Through this 11 metre line, get a score on the 10.75, he's got a real good chance there to make the final.
Yep, this is the money pass, Glenn, 11.25 metres. Our leader so far with half at 10.75 from Adam Pickos. And then back to Luca Spinelli at 4 at 11.25. You know exactly what he needs to do here. Tanguy Daylan, team skier from France.
Like I say, absolutely perfect conditions. There's no wind at all at the moment, which is great. Just always a little bit of movement on the water out there. But it's actually not too bad at the moment, I don't think. We've seen some, obviously just seen Adam Pickos smash out an 11-metre pass. So that would have given confidence, I'm sure, to all the top seeds who, as Grant just said, will be arriving on on site. So here we go, 11.25 metre line. Tanguy Daylan from France. Must get a good start on 1. No, and he doesn't, unfortunately.
Well,
Shame.
pops the handle around there, 1, Glenn. He'll be quite disappointed with that. Tanguy Daylan from France going down at 1, or he'll be scored, I would suggest, a half at 11.25 metres. So disappointment there from him. But again, he knew exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah.
He needed to be committed at 1 and get a great number 1 ball. He dug deep, and an official score coming through from Tanguy Daylan from France of half at 11.25 metres.
Okay, we're going to Colombia next. We've got Santiago Carrera of Colombia. And
yeah, give us a wave if you see us on the webcast or you're up on the big screen. Give us a wave down there. Big crowds expected to roll in over the next 2 or 3 days. Of course, today, Saturday and Sunday, our big finals day here in Putrajaya. Magnificent stadium here for all of our athletes to showcase their talents.
yeah, this athlete out of Colombia, 28 years of age, Colombian team. 14. Starting 14.25 metre line from Bogota in Colombia, of course. And he has got a personal best of 5 on the 10.75 metre line. So he's a very solid athlete. Good chance of running 11. If you've got a PB at 5 at 10.75, then obviously you've got the creds, of course, in terms of running 11. So he's starting reasonably conservatively here, I would say, on the 14. I'm sure he could have started at 13, but he's just going to take his time out there. There's no wind at all at the moment, so there's no advantage to starting on either line length. He's just thinking that he needs to get out there and get an extra pass under his belt, I think, and just feel out conditions.
Yep, nice opening pass from Santiago from Colombia. Starting at 14.25 metres. Beautiful pictures and backdrops we're bringing you here from Putrajaya here in Malaysia. Beautiful morning, maybe expected top temperature around 32, 33 degrees. Probably a pretty steamy day after that big storm that went through yesterday afternoon and put lots of rain down for us. Of course, brought the jump event to a conclusion a little bit earlier than we would like. We had around 6 or 8 competitors to go, but advice is that they'll run those at the conclusion of men's jump if we can today to make sure we've got the similar conditions for those ladies. So a big day's action here at the 2019 IWWF World Water Ski Championships. We are currently in Open Men's Series 3 Slalom preliminary round. We've got around 4 or 5 competitors to come before we move into Open Men's Series 2. Our first competitor there will be Dorian Llewellyn from Canada.
Okay, 13 metre line coming up now for Santiago Carrera. I love his profile on WorldWaterSkiers.com. He says his water skiing goal is to ski until the last day I live, which is the aim, I'm sure, of many water skiers around the world. This is 13 metre line now, Santiago Carrera from Colombia. Very good, actually, looking smooth and on time. That's a nice pass there from Santiago out the exit gates. 13 metre line is achieved. We'll shorten now onto the 12. Just a shout out to all our athletes on site. If you haven't already done it, please go online to World Water Skiers and do fill out your profile, because it's an electronic era now, and we get the profiles off this website. They, of course, are sponsoring these World Championships, bringing us the webcast. So if we don't have a filled out bio on World Water Skiers, we do not know anything about you. So we're going to make mistakes, and everybody's going to say, your family back home, your fans, your sponsors are going to say, why are they not correct in what they're saying about you? And that is because we don't know. So get on WorldWaterSkiers.com and fill out your profile.
Right, Santiago Carrera from Colombia will come back in at 12 metres. Started at the 14.25 metre line. Successful 13 metre pass. A drop of 50 seconds down the start dock end before we bring him back in. 3 more competitors after him will round out preliminary round of Open Men's Series 3. Of course, our leader so far is Adam Pickos from the United States with half at 10.75 metres. Here he comes, the Colombian athlete at 12-metre line.
Yeah, 12-metre line now from the start dock end on a beautiful Malaysian morning here. Great conditions at the moment. As he makes his way into 3-ball. Looking pretty solid here. Santiago Carrera out of Colombia. Lives and trains in Bogota, the capital city, I believe, of Colombia. And I know that because I've watched the Narcos mini-series of Pablo Escobar. And I know all about Colombian geography from that.
Well, of course, we had a World Championships there many years ago, Glenn, as well. I competed in myself. It was a great Worlds as well, and down there in Colombia.
Yeah, was that 97?
Yes, just outside of Medellin in Colombia.
Super important for Kiwis, of course, because Steve Cochran won the silver in slalom. So
yes, he did that year. We had some great competitors there from all around the world. It was a great World Championships. As Santiago Carrera from Colombia, successful 12-metre line. He will know he's going to need to go deep here or run this pass to have any chance whatsoever of potentially moving through to the men's slalom final. A huge field in Series 3, 2 and 1. Our leader so far is Adam Pickos from the United States, half at 10.75. And Luca Spinelli sitting in second place with 4 at 11.25. We do hope Luca's ankle is okay as well. The only injury the morning so far, had a nasty fall heading out to number 5 at 11.25.
Okay,
all right, here he comes.
11.25 metre line coming up. 11.25 metre line now for Santiago Carrera out of Colombia. This is the pass we need to run, folks. If he's going to make the final, we need to see him through this clearly. Conditions are good right now. He's skiing at the right time of the day to do it. Round 1 he goes. A little bit of slack out of 1, but he's okay out of 2. Big 2-ball. He's on this, folks. Round 3, starting to get a little late. He needs a huge 4-ball. Round 4, but he's got it. Oh, he's stretched out to 5. He's around 5.
Come on,
Can he
Santiago.
get there? He's working hard. Oh, sensational stuff. Santiago Carrera has run the 11.25 metre line, and the big fist goes up. Oh, this
what
is
a great
significant,
pass.
Grant, because he is the type of guy that you around the world probably wouldn't pick to make a slalom final, but he's just given himself a chance here. Sensational.
Oh, magnificent slalom skiing. He dug deep right from the start there, knew exactly what he needed to do. He knew just 4 or 5 at 11.25 was never going to make it. He had to run the pass, and that's exactly what he did. Fantastic skiing from the Colombian. You saw how excited he was when he came out of the gates, and deservedly so, because that was a magnificent pass. Challenging conditions out there, of course. No wind whatsoever, but it's slightly bumpy and maybe a little bit Moomba Masters type feel about it.
The glassy water obviously shows up that little bit of movement out there, which is, you still think you'd rather have glass water and a little bit of movement than chop, obviously. I think the aim here is 2 or more. I don't think half or 1 is going to be enough to make the final now. I think after watching Adam Pickos and Santiago run 11, I think you're going to need at least 2 on the 10.7 to make the final. So let's see if he can do that.
All right, Santiago Carrera from Colombia. What can he get here at 10.75? Out around number 1. Can he make it out around number 2? Heads out there, got around number 2. Can he get back to the wakes?
Oh! Geez, he tried.
I think we'll get a score through there of possibly 1.5. We'll just wait to see, but great skiing. Put your hands together, folks, from the Colombian.
So you just watch him here because he knows how important getting 2 full boys is.
He's
going to hang
does.
on. He's desperate and he can't quite do it, and their arms go up. Because 1.5 probably won't be enough, but 2 is that sort of score that might get you in a runoff to make a final or something, so we just have to wait and see.
Confirmed score through, Glenn, of 1.5 at 10.75. We have a new leader from Colombia, Santiago Carrera. Well done. Fantastic slalom skiing. Well done, Santiago, if you can hear us. Brilliant stuff. You are the new leader from Adam Pickos, back at half at 10.75. So before we even get into Series 2, Glenn, this slalom skiing is just going to another level, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, so that suggests to me, as long as these conditions hold where they are now, that you're going to, I think you probably need at least 2. I was thinking, half or 1 at 10.75 might get you into the final. I don't think that'll be enough now. I think it's going to be 2, possibly even 3, just looking at the way Adam Pickos and Santiago Carrera have slalomed here this morning.
So 1.5 confirmed for the Colombian athlete, Santiago Carrera from Colombia. He is our new leader. Our next competitor will be Nicolas La Madrid from Mexico. Then team skier from the United States, Taylor Garcia, and Marek Melnick from Slovakia will round out the Open Men's Series 3 preliminary rounds, as many of our Series 2 and 1 athletes do arrive here on site. Welcome and good morning, gentlemen. The scores have been put out there. 1.75, 1.5 at 10.75, I should say, is the top score so far.
So Carlos La Madrid, personal best 2 on the 10.25 metre line. 33-year-old from Guadalajara in Mexico. Of course, Guadalajara is the host city of the 2015 World Championships 4 years ago, because I think it's the second largest city in Mexico. He has, of course, been skiing since he was 6 years of age. His water ski idol is Pickos. His water skiing goal, lifetime water ski goal, is to make a finals at a World Championship. So today could be the day for Carlos La Madrid.
Not a bad goal to have, Glenn. Great opportunity right now for Carlos La Madrid from Mexico. Confirmed start at 13 metres. One shortening higher than our previous competitor, who is our new leader, Santiago Carrera from Colombia. As we bring Carlos in now from Mexico for his opening pass of 13 metres. Beautiful conditions out there, not a breath of wind. Pretty well identically as what greeted the ladies this time yesterday, where we had some of our competitors running 11.25 metres. And we've had some great score here this morning as well. Carlos looking nice and comfortable on 13 metres for his opening pass. Heads out through the gates there.
Yeah, I'm just looking through his profile to see if it's listed. It's not listed, but I've just got a feeling that Carlos is the Mexican national record holder with his 2 at 10.25 in slalom. But don't hold me to that, because he actually hasn't put that on his profile, and I would have thought he would if he was the national record holder. But he's still a very, very good slalom skier, 2 on the 10.25.
I can't wait to see what the next hour and a half or so can bring, Glenn. This is exciting stuff. Of course, 12 athletes only will go through to the finals. We've got a huge field, 10 skiers in Open Men's Series 3, 16 in Series 2 and 9 in Series 1. And the leader so far, 1.5 at 10.75 metres from Santiago Carrera from Colombia. Athlete on the water, Carlos La Madrid from Mexico. I'm sure is the brother of our earlier athlete, Alvaro.
Absolutely,
Glenn.
yeah.
Alvaro had a score of 3 at 11.25 metres, as we bring back Carlos now at 12 metres.
12 metre line now. Perfect conditions here from the northern end of this wonderful water skiing facility here at Putrajaya. 12 metre line, Carlos La Madrid. Mexico's #1 slalom skier, of course. Oh, geez, a little bit deep in the water on 4, but or 3, but I think he's going to be okay. Oh, nice pass. Really snaps that handle in quickly and gets himself across to that next turn ball and completes the 12 metre line.
Yep, nice pass for Carlos from Mexico. 12 metres in the bag. We'll shorten him down at the start dock end. Wonderful facilities here in Putrajaya, Malaysia, for all of our athletes. Huge big car parking area where all of the team buses and transportation parks, lots of shaded areas. Fantastic dining hall out the back as well, Glenn.
Absolutely.
Really feel like you are at a major international competition. The Malaysians do it incredibly well. Everything going absolutely perfectly so far here as an event perspective. Congratulations to Hanifa and all of his team, and all of the folks here in Putrajaya have put on a wonderful World Championship so far, and I cannot wait for the next 2.5 days or so.
Amazing.
Because this is going to be exciting stuff as we move into the finals on Saturday and Sunday.
same time. We've got a webcast. Yeah. Still no internet. Okay, 11.25 metre line now. This is when it all gets. This is the business end now. Run this pass, you got a shot at a final. Miss out, and you're going to end up way back in the pack, and no one will remember your name. Let's see if we remember Carlos La Madrid's name from these World Championships 2019. He's get a little down course. He needs a big 3, boys. Not bad, actually, out of 3. Round 4 he goes. He's looking okay. He's close here. Round 5, he needs a huge 5, and he's not going to get it. He's gone in the drink around 5, folks. He's so close to running that 11 metre line. It's a game of inches. If he gets around that boy, hanging onto the handle in a skiing position, he probably gets around 6 and out the gates. But unfortunately, no, it's no cigar at the moment for Carlos La Madrid, because 4.5 on the 11 will be his final score.
Yeah, he'll be a little bit disappointed, Glenn, because he really was in that pass. Had a great start, really good start. And just as he crept down towards 4 and 5, maybe the mind game started to come in as he's heading across to 5, thinking I've only got 1 to go here and I'm out the gates, and possibly a shot at 10.75, but unfortunately went down around number 5, got in nice and deep, couldn't hang on. And likely score of 4.5, I would suggest, at 11.25 metres. Was that 4.5? So official score come through for Carlos La Madrid from Mexico, 4.5. 4.5 at 11.25 metres. Our leader so far is Santiago Carrera from Colombia, 1.5 at 10.75 metres. We move back then to Adam Pickos at a half a buoy at 10.75. And then sitting in third place at the moment from Italy, Luca Spinelli with 4 at 11.25 metres.
Well, next up, of course, one of the real young superstars of our sport, Taylor Garcia from the United States, US team skier, of course. Personal best 2 at 10.25. Unfortunately, the internet is down right now, so in the tower here, so we have not got the webcast working. So I would give a shout out to Taylor's father, Steve, who's at home right now in Florida, not making the trip down to Putrajaya, but we've got no webcast at the moment. But live on site, of course, we are getting a PA system, a bit of commentary across. If you want to watch the slow-mo replays, you can do so on the big screen down by the grandstand. But yeah, Taylor Garcia, born, of course, in Los Angeles in California in the United States, but moved to Orlando, Florida, I think at the age, about 13 or 14 years of age, as he started to get into the old water skiing, of course. At one time a great downhill snow ski racer, but decided to put his mind on the water skiing. His favourite event, strongest event, of course, is the jump event. Oh, so close to being a 70-metre jumper. He's listed his PB down at 227 feet. I think that's about 69.2, 69.3, roughly. So he's probably goes into this tournament ranked maybe number 3 or 4 in the jump event. So solid jumper, but let's just see how he goes in the slalom.
All right, Taylor Garcia coming in, opening pass. Second team skier from the United States today so far. Of course, Adam Pickos earlier out with a half at 10.75. Oh, little skip over to number 4 there. Wraps up 5 and 6 and out through the gates. Nice opening pass for Taylor Garcia. Was that 14 days?
Okay, starts 14.25 metre, Taylor Garcia. I guess he would have thought about starting 13 metre, but he's playing this conservative, smart game. There's no wind at the moment, so there's no real advantage with a head or tailwind to start on any line length. So if you start at 14, these guys, they get that extra pass just to feel out conditions, I think.
Yep, our leader so far did start at 14 metres. That was Santiago Carrera from Colombia. So it might be a smart move from Taylor Garcia as well. He might have seen something there, Glenn. Of course, all of these athletes would be talented enough to start at 13, but maybe a little bit of tactics coming in from some of them. Taylor Garcia electing to start at 14.25 metres. Successful opening pass. Dropped him down at this end for 60 seconds before we bring him back through at 13 metres. As we said, second team skier for the United States today.
Yeah, a little bit like Adam Pickos, probably slaloming mainly for the US team. I mean, he could be here as a jump specialist, Taylor Garcia, but very patriotic American, of course. He wants to help out his US team. So he's out there getting a slalom score, hopefully, for Team USA. And, of course, he's got a good shot at making the fight. I'll tell you one thing about Taylor. Lots of experience at the Mooma Masters over the years. He's been heading out there since he was sort of 15, 16 years of age. So he's used to skiing in different sites around the world. You know, he's up to it, up to the task as he runs that 13-metre line.
Yep, another nice pass there from Taylor Garcia. Wraps up 13 metres, comes back at 12. So he's the second last competitor in the Open Men's Series 3 preliminary round. Marek Melnick from Slovakia will be our final competitor before we move into Open Men's Series 2. Our first competitor will be Dorian Llewellyn from Canada.
Yeah, so Taylor down to the blue shortening, 35 off, 12-metre line. Current lead is still with Colombia and Santiago Carrera with his 1.5 on the 10.75 metre. Conditions are very good out there at the moment for slalom. So 12-metre line now, Taylor Garcia.
All right, let's see what he got. 12 metres for Taylor Garcia. Team skier from the United States comes in through the gates. Wraps up number 1. Nice tight turnaround number 1. Little bit back on there number 2 as he heads over to 3. Nice turn out of 3. Wraps up 4. Little late out of 4 as he heads over to 5. Oh, he's pulled up out of 5 and not able to make it out around number 6. That'll be disappointing there for Taylor Garcia.
That's a huge upset, Grant. Disappointing stuff for Taylor, disappointing stuff for the US and for everyone on site. I'm not quite sure what happened there. He, score of 5, 12-metre line. He looked to be going quite well. He did start to get a little down course as he went down the pass, but he obviously got on the back of the ski. We'll probably watch the replay. Obviously, here to jumps his main event, but he still wanted to slalom well, and still I thought was a real good chance of making the final. So that is devastation.
Yeah, disappointing from Taylor. Of course, jump being his specialist event, but he certainly would be a little bit disappointed there. He started out quite nice around 1, 2 and 3, and then just really tailed it around, well, it was a little bit late out of 4 and then got a little bit deep out of 5 and unfortunately stood on the back of the ski, which took him off edge and was not able to get out around number 6.
Yeah, I think when it's we've got these real glass calm conditions like we've got now, that from the start dock in, that number 4 is just, there's a little bit of movement there, and maybe Taylor, we'll hopefully get a replay. I haven't seen the replay yet, but I think if we do see it, it would show Taylor maybe just moved around a bit much on 4 and made him too late for 5. I'm not sure. Well, a little bit of disappointment for Taylor Garcia. Like any real good jump skier, though, any top 5 jump skier in the world, he'll just say, it's only slalom. Brush it off. Get ready for the jumping later on today.
Yep. Very possibly, Glenn. Great jumper is Taylor Garcia. We'll look forward to him jumping a little bit later this afternoon, of course. He, in fact, will be our 4th last competitor out in the Open Men's Series 1 jump a little later this afternoon. If you do have a running order, folks, we are up to Marek Melnick from Slovakia. He'll be our last competitor in Open Men's Series 3 Slalom. One scratching today, if you're looking at your running list, Jonathan Travis from the United States will not be joining us. He was in Open Series 1. You can put a line through Jonathan as we wait to bring Marek Melnick from Slovakia in for his first pass.
28 years of age, Marek Melnick from Slovakia.
Confirmed start from Marek at 13 metres. 13-metre start from Marek Melnick from Slovakia. Our last competitor in Open Men's Series 3.
Personal best of 3 on the 10.25 metre line. Is currently resides in Peznanok, Slovakia, and trains, of course, his home site is in Platny, Slovakia. So both places I've never been to, Grant, but he's certainly a world-renowned slalom with a personal best, as I said, of 3 on the 10.25.
Yep, nice opening pass from Marek, 13 metres. Of course, our leader so far, Santiago Carrera from Colombia at 1.5 at 10.75. He'd be pretty happy with that, I would say, at the moment. And then we move back to Adam Pickos at half at 10.75. So only 2 competitors today completing the 11.25 metre line. But I'm sure that's going to change very, very soon, Glenn, as we move into Open Series 2 and Open Series 1.
Absolutely. If conditions hold like this, I think we will see at least 12. 12's the number for the final. At least 12 guys running the 11.25, and probably a lot more than that, actually. We've still got, as you said, we've got 25 skiers to go, including the skier that's out on the water right now. So we're a long way off getting down to our last 12 and getting an idea of a final cut.
All right, coming back in now, second pass, Marek Melnick from Slovakia. This will be 12 metres.
Yep, from the northern end, round 1 it goes, across to 2, 12 metre line. Round 3, a little bit bobbly, but he's early enough as he almost drops in on 4, but he's okay. Round 5, he'll get to 6, I think. And a little nervous maybe on that pass at times, but he runs the 12 metre line.
Yeah, it looks like he just muscles it through, doesn't he, Glenn? Marek, nothing super stylish about it, but clearly and obviously a talented slalom skier with scores up in a 10.25 for a personal best. Successful 12-metre pass from Marek Melnick from Slovakia. And he certainly knows what he needs to do here. It's going to need to be a successful completed pass here at 11.25 metres to have any chance whatsoever of making it through to the final on Sunday.
Absolutely. So last skier in Series 3, we'll have a driver change after Marek is finished. Best drivers are from around the world here. Very lucky to have the 4 boat drivers we've got here, of course. Glenn Martin from your part of the world. One of the best, I would say Glenn Martin would be in the top 3 slalom drivers in the world, if not the best slalom driver in the world. And it's not to say he's not good at jump either, but we've got Les Todd here, of course, who is probably the best jump driver in the world. So we're really spoilt as we watch Marek Melnick now. This is 11.25 metre line. He rears up a bit out of 2, and that's it. It's all over. So there's a fine margin of error, of course, once you get to 11. You only have to make one little mistake, and it can get very difficult. So 2 on the 11.25.
Yeah, disappointing there from Marek. He would certainly be disappointed with that. He would have known he had to run 11.25 metres to have any shot of making it through to the final. And that looks like it'll be a confirmed score of 2 at 11.25 metres. 2 at 11.25 for Marek Melnick. So that will mean our leader so far from Colombia, Santiago Carrera, with 1.5 at 10.75 metres. Then Adam Pickos from the United States with a half at 10.75. The only 2 athletes this morning who have ran the 11.25 metre pass.
Okay, folks, well, I think we're going to give your ears just a little bit of a rest for a few minutes. Thanks, Grant. Appreciate it now. You've got to go and do your managing duties for Team Australia. We're going to be back, I'm sure, in maybe probably only 3 or 4 minutes, but we're a quick break while we have a quick crew change, and we'll be back with Series 2 of Slalom.
Yeah, I can do something in Slalom, mate. No problem.
You can do some Slalom?
If you want me to do, 2 or 3, I probably can. But well, it's up to you. If it's coming up, that's
it is coming up, but also, mate, I went around, I asked Drew Ross, asked Emma, I've not been any luck. I asked the US team guy like Jeff Sue, asked if you got any guys there. He was going to talk to them, but it'd be nice to get like Drew Ross would be awesome. Ex-slalom pro, expert comments.
Yeah. Come up after Dorian.
Oh, okay. Not that he's an ex-pro slalomer, but he's a good commentator and he knows the stuff, so it's all good.
Have we got a few minutes or are we straight in? Just changing drivers. Alright, well I'm going to stop it real quick. Right. So it all comes back on.
Okay, folks, we're back on. Apologies for that. I thought we'd have a bit of a break there, but obviously the judges, Chief Judge Candino, is looking at the time, and he got a little bit behind last night with the storm, and he's pushing things through. So we are on. Of course, it's Dorian Llewellyn out of Canada. And I will, as soon as I know, I will confirm the start line length for you. So Dorian Llewellyn, of course, skiing for Team Canada, has a personal best in slalom of half at 10.25 metre line. Lives in Lake Worth, Florida, of course. Attends Rollins College, although I know he graduated actually a couple of months back, so I'm not quite sure what his aims are now. And here he comes past number 2, making his way down the course. Great conditions out there. It's glassy calm. There is obviously a bit of movement on the water, but still very good conditions. And we've already seen a couple of times this morning the 11.25 being completed. Dorian started on the 14.25, so that was the 13 metre line completed. So as we mentioned, beautiful morning here in Putrajaya. We did have that storm come through last night, as we all know. Just played havoc, maybe put us a little bit behind on time-wise. We do have lots of time, Saturday and Sunday we could use, I'm sure, but Chief Judge Candino, while the conditions are good, just wanting to keep things moving. And I think we had a driver change, but that maybe nothing else, and we got straight into our work, and Dorian Llewellyn out there now. 12 metre line coming up. Round 1 he goes. Solid start on 1. So got 2. Round 3. Looking the goods at the moment. He hits across the 5. He'll get 5 and he'll get 6. Good pass. 12 metre line, Dorian Llewellyn. Sure Dad Jarrett and Mother Britta are watching on. Doesn't matter how good you are, you know, you can be the world's best skiers, but you still, I'm sure, get a little nervous for your son. Probably more nervous for your son skiing or your child skiing than you did for your own skiing back in the day. But they'll be enjoying this. And of course, this is the crunch pass, though. This is the one that really counts. If you run this pass, come back, get a buoy or 2, then you really have got a good shot of making the final, I believe. If you don't run the pass in, I don't think you'll be in the final. So it's so important to somehow get out those exit gates here, around 6 buoy, out the exit gates here on 11. It's everybody on site knows it. Everyone probably around the world watching on the webcast, although they're not watching right now, because I don't think we've quite got it going because of internet. But this, of course, is being recorded, and people will watch this, the highlight package, I'm sure, a little bit later on. And hopefully one of the great highlights of these Worlds for Dorian Llewellyn is that he runs this 11.25 and makes his way into the final. .60 drop time down there on the northern end, and the 60 seconds is up, and here comes Dorian Llewellyn. 21 years of age, from Canada obviously, but has spent almost all his life, I'm sure, living in Florida. Round 1 he goes, needs a big 2-ball here. He's lost a bit of time on 1. He's just getting down course now, getting a bit of trouble, and he's in big trouble here. Loses his momentum on 3 ball, stands up out of 3, so 3 on the 11. He's a little bit disappointed, Dorian, and I understand that. 3 on the 11.25 will not get him through to the slalom final. It's such a narrow margin for error, of course, at 11.25. It is the first pass when the tow rope is shorter than the length from the boat out to the turn buoy. Obviously Dorian, of course, too, is in a battle trying to get at least on the podium, if not win the men's overall title, and he needed a big strong slalom score here. So that's a little disappointing for Canadian superstar Dorian Llewellyn. So we've got our next competitor coming right up. We've got a 13 metre start for Joel Poland out of Great Britain. Joel Poland, of course, the 2019 under-21 world overall champion. He took that title in Canada just 6 weeks ago, and he's got a shot, I'm sure, at this overall title at these world titles. 13 metre to start for Joel Poland from Great Britain. One of those skiers, he's got the X factor, hasn't he? He's just something about him. I can see him being, when this guy hangs up his skis, when he retires, and hopefully many, many years to come, I think he'll look back on his career, and we'll look back on his career as one of the greats. He just seems to have that X factor on a ski, whether it's slaloming, tricking, or jumping. Absolute super talent out of Great Britain, Joel Poland. So we're shortening now onto what should be the 12 metre line. So probably Jarrett is coming out. So it might only be a short session, but I need you to fire up, be animated into it, get excited, take a deep breath. Yeah, see, only talking to the side. Okay, so just started Series 2 Slalom. We've had a little bit of disappointment, I think, for Dorian Llewellyn, where he's finished up with 3 at 11, which is probably, well, it's not going to be enough to get into the final, and not helping out his overall chances, maybe. But we do have, right now, Joel Poland, this excitement factor out of Great Britain. He's run the 13 metre, he's now onto the 12 metre, and I'm super excited to be joined, of course, by a local
legend Philippa Young.
Herself, yeah. Philippa Young. So Philippa, we're watching now Joel Poland, and of course this is the 12 metre line.
Goodness, he looks good. That looks like a really comfortable pass. I don't want to jinx him, give him the kiss of death, but I think he's going to clear this. Yes, very nice.
Yeah, well done, 12-metre line. Good pass there. Lead at the moment is with Colombia and Santiago Carrera, who's on 1.5 at 10.75. We've also had a half on the 10.75 of from Adam Pickos. So it looks like I think probably need around 2 at 10.75, I think, to make the final at this stage.
Yep.
Still a lot of skiers to come.
Yep, that's interesting. What happened to Dorian? I missed that.
Yeah, Dorian unfortunately didn't get a great start on 11-metre. Got a little late, and then on 3-ball he just couldn't turn 3 and stood up, and so he's ended up with 3 at 11. So he'll be a little disappointed. Sure. He's still got obviously a trick final to come and the jump to come, but he's obviously be a little disappointed both for his own skiing and also his overall skiing and his slalom final chances.
Just a big shout out to all the Malaysians and foreigners out there. If you can hear us from across the lake, we would love you to come and join us. The grandstand is here for you your viewing pleasure, as well as there's a carnival on today.
Yeah, it's party time at Putrajaya, and especially as we move into the weekend. Friday, of course, Friday night tonight in the big city, and look forward to that. And it's party time out on the water right now for Joel Poland. This is 11.25. He has to run this, folks. He's getting it done. Is he around 4? He's getting late. He's very late. I don't know if he can do it. I don't think he has. No, and the arms go up because he knows. He was so close, Pippa. He looked like he had it at one stage, and you've got to be super onto it on that 4-ball. And he didn't get a great turn out of 4, so he's ended up, I think, with, we'll confirm the score. I'm not sure he went around 5, but really doesn't matter whether it's 4 or 5. It's not going to be enough. He needed to run that 11.25, I believe, to make the slalom final.
Yeah, that was such a good fight. It's such a shame that he couldn't clear.
Yeah, and it's a big moment too, because he is one of the guys that I picked to be in that battle for overall, and he is in the battle for the overall title. But I guess for him to win overall at these world champs, I think he needs to get it. He would need to be right up there in the top in slalom, I think. So
you don't think that's quite enough?
No. Well, we'll wait and see. Long way to go. Because Adam Settlemyre, the world record holder, did really well for his overall chances yet with a great trick score. Yesterday with a great trick score, so he'd be leading at the moment, I'm sure.
When is he up? Another 10 or so.
Another 10 or so skiers.
Oh. Great. It looks like we might have internet again.
Internet's up.
That's exciting.
Webcast will be going soon. So no pressure, Pippa, but
yeah.
instead of talking to 1,000 people, you're going to be...
Talking to 1 million?
Well, I don't know about 1 million.
Yeah.
I think we might be talking ourselves up a bit here, but we'll have the webcast up and running. If you are just joining us, welcome along. I haven't had the official nod from Tom Gray, the webcast guy, yet to say it's up and running, but we've got internet up in the tower, so we'll have live scores going. Actually sound a little bit more intelligent up here, I think.
I wonder what Joel's personal best is. Do you know?
It's right down on the 10.25. It's he hasn't filled out his WorldWaterSkiers profile yet.
Shame. Oh, we've got nothing to work with.
No, I'm pretty sure his personal best is right on to 10.25. So 4 at 11 for Joel Poland, still leading the men's slalom elimination round is Santiago Carrera from Colombia. He's got 1.5 at 10.75. Adam Pickos is in second with half on the 10.75 metre line. Long way to go. So we'll have in excess of 20 slalomers to come in this elimination rounds.
Oh, who's next up?
Next up, because is Felipe Miranda. He's going to start on the 14.25 metre line. Felipe Miranda, of course, defending champion in the overall, men's overall at the World Champs, 2-time world overall champion.
Very famous family, beautiful lake down there in Chile.
It's a great site. Have you been?
Yes, I have. I was there for Junior Worlds.
You were
amazing.
Actually, 'cause I was there as well. That's right. The last Junior Worlds there. I think it's the best ski site in the world. Absolutely.
Yep.
It's a magnificent ski lake. Beautiful weather there, of course, in summer. It does get a little chilly in winter, I suppose, but we weren't there in the winter, so it didn't matter. So Pepe Miranda, here to defend his world overall title. I'm sure that's his main aim. Really, probably didn't trick enough yesterday though. He's in a bit of trouble in the overall. I think from memory, trick 7, 9, 10. 7,910, which when you're up against Adam Sedemeyer, who tricked 10,600, it makes it tough. But of course, he's very strong in jump, which is obviously his favourite event. But he really needs a great slalom score here. He's got to get himself into the slalom final, I think, if he realistically is going to retain his overall title.
Yeah, because Adam Sedelmeyer is also a really good jumper too.
He is.
Right?
He is, absolutely.
So that's going to be a bit tricky.
Adam Sedelmeyer, he is now in the box seat for the men's overall. With that, you know, he's a world record holder, and he's got that growth. The tricks is probably the hardest one in overall to get. You got to nail that. If you don't nail the tricks, you're never going to win an overall title. So he's got that out of the way. Mind you, so did Danilo Felchenko, so did Dorian Llewellyn. You know, so there was some good tricking yesterday. But as I said, Felipe Miranda just back a bit on the trick, so he's going to have to slalom and jump super well if he's going to win this overall title. He's cleared the 14.25. That's a conservative start for Felipe. A lot of these guys will start 13 metre, but he's making sure of it. There's no wind at all at the moment, which means there's really no advantage to starting at any line length. So he's maybe just wanting that extra pass to get a bit more feel out there on the water.
Yep, here he comes back in at 13 metre line, yep.
Round 1 he goes. Round 2, big old lean across the 3. He's thinking, I might as well keep myself early out here, give myself a bit of time. And cross from 5 to 6. Full pass there on the 13 metre line.
Nicely done, Pipe.
It is.
And his brother comes up when?
Oh no, I think his brother's skied already actually.
Oh,
Rodrigo skied a couple of days ago in one of the lowest series. So tell us a little bit about some of the stuff going on around the site. You're part of the organising team here.
Yeah, so as far as I can remember, there's a really cool petting zoo down there for the kids. I think there's a llama, a couple of rabbits. We have, of course, the bouncy castles, which my kids would love if they were here, but unfortunately they're in New Zealand. Yeah.
I tried to get on the bouncy castle. They wouldn't let me in. I think they were worried I'd pop it.
Oh, too bad, man.
They didn't want me jumping. There's some sort of weight limit.
I can have a word with them.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
See if you can get there. Talk to some people. See if you can get me on the bouncy castle.
I don't think you're allowed on the bouncy castle, actually.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
yeah.
It would be silly, really.
Yes.
It'd be pretty dangerous for the kids.
Yeah. We would clear the kids off.
Now
No?
talk to me about your media centre. You've got a wonderful media centre behind the grandstand, and you
Yeah.
need some of these athletes, don't you?
Yes, as
head
they
up
come
there.
up, please do stop for interviews on your way up. Yeah.
Particularly if you don't ski back to the dock, if you finish the ski set and you've fallen in the lake and you walk past the media centre, go up to the media centre. Don't be shy. We need athletes to go up there for interviews, please, for local media. As we watch a good pass there. It's a 12 metre line.
Yeah, really
from,
good pass.
Felipe Miranda, he looked very good.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Actually, we have a media mixed zone at the bottom of the judges' tower. There's a great big blue poster you'll see down there on the ground.
Right.
So they don't even have to come up the grandstand. The athletes can just walk past the judges' tower and we'll just grab them.
Perfect. It's all about selling our sport, isn't it, to the masses. Great to have a World Championships here in Asia, of course. Obviously the most populous market in the world in Asia. And 26 years since the last World Champs
In Asia?
Yep, down in Singapore, of
1993?
course, which is not that far away. I think, I don't know how far it is, but it's a 40-minute flight. So that's probably, 300 or 400 kilometres, I suppose.
So 4.5 hours drive or 3.5 if you're my
down
brother.
in Singapore, and because the 93 World Champs were down there.
Were you there?
No, I was not actually. I didn't
You were
make
too
the
young.
team. I wasn't too young.
Oh.
I just didn't get selected, but that's okay. There was better skiers than me. Actually, I was just messaging with Kylie before. He was in that team, of course, in '93.
Yeah, I remember. I think I had a really big crush on him.
I think you had a big crush on Kylie.
Yeah, I think so.
He's a
Yeah.
good-looking man. Good-looking man, Kylie. But anyway, that's getting off topic. I'm not sure if the webcast is working. It's probably getting a bit unprofessional. Anyway, here we go. Felipe Miranda, this is 11.25. This is the pass he's got to run if he wants to make the final and help his overall chances out. Round 2.
Oh, big lean out of one and then just, I don't
It
know.
wasn't a great one, and I think he knew he had to get a decent 2, and of course I think 2 is his offside, and just fell there around 2 on the 11. the overall chances of Felipe Miranda just starting to slip out of his fingertips a little bit here. It's the early days yet, and I shouldn't speak too soon, but you know, the two-time world overall champion, of course, defending champion from Paris, where he took out that overall title. He won 4 years earlier on his home site in Santiago, Chile. But I just don't know. I think after an 8,000 point trick score and a 1.5 at 11, it's just the chances of him winning that overall title again starting to just slip.
Yeah, it's not looking good for him, is it? That's a shame. He won't be happy with that.
No, he won't be. Okay, moving on now. We have got another guy who is a real chance in the overall as well. So we've got overall skier after overall skier, and of course it's Martin Colman out of the Czech Republic.
Of course, Father Zdeněk Colman is going to be looking on anxiously. He's our official homologator for this event, isn't he?
Yes, he is probably one of the smartest guys on site, Zdeněk Colman. And Martin as well, actually, his son. He's also a tech controller at a lot of tournaments. So Martin Colman here, he's a chance in overall, but he last Worlds in Paris because he didn't slalom so well, and that kind of sunk his overall result. But at the moment, he's looking pretty good out there as he opens up with his first pass.
He was telling me he works at Good. He used to work at Good Skis, and he was building his own skis, which was pretty awesome.
Tom, is the webcast up now? Still not.
I got internet, but I've got overloaded PC and I can't, if I stream it, just, I don't know what is going on. It hasn't got any better.
Okay.
It's going to, I really need a break to be able to sort things out a bit, you know. But it's, I don't know if it's taking any time to say right now. Well, can we focus on one camera?
Okay, Martin Colman opens up, started on the 13-metre line, and he's run that pass, of course, no worries at all. 13-metre line,
So,
onto the 12.
what did he get in Paris? Do you remember?
Oh, no, well, he actually, unfortunately in Paris, I think he missed his first pass, Martin Colman. It was a pretty tough site in Paris, a great world champs, a great city to be in, but yeah, which was disappointing.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Yeah, so that's, you know, he went in with as a good chance of getting on the podium and overall, but unfortunately didn't feature in the end because we had a great battle in overall there once again, men's overall, but Pepe Miranda came through. So men's slalom elimination round. This is 12-metre line now for Martin Colman from the Czech Republic. Conditions really nice at the moment out here on the lake at Putrajaya. Round 6 and out the gates.
Nice. That was a really interesting gate. Did you see there was a little bit of hesitation? Like maybe he might have missed the gate. I was a little bit worried for him, but he managed to do it.
So we're shorting down to the 11.25 metre line. This is the pass. You'll get sick of me saying it, but all morning I've been saying this is the pass you have to run to make the final. The skiers all know it, the coaches know it, the parents know it.
Oh, see a shot of the famous Glenn Martin in the boat.
Yeah, and young guy, of course, young driver out of Australia, Glenn Martin, one of the very best drivers in the world. Great slalom driver, also, of course, great jump driver. I would say he's going to get the top slalom drives at these Worlds, and I think Les Dodd will probably get the top jump drives if I'm a betting man. It's not up to me, of course, but and Les Dodd, of course, known around the world as probably the best jump driver in the world. So we really are blessed here in Putrajaya to have some great drivers.
So blessed,
really
yes.
good drivers. Also, of course, Mario Bogozzi and
Davide
Yep,
Gondola.
Davide from Italy. Here we go. This is 11.25 for Martin Colman. He's a little down course, but he's looking okay here, looking strong. Great four ball. He's across to 5. He's going to do it. He's all the way to 6 on 11. I think he's got it. Is he out the gates? He is. Oh, big fist pump. That is sensational for Martin Colman. He's run the 11.25 metre line. And not only for making the slalom final, it's a great result for his overall. big there on the 11.25 metre line.
Really beautiful website WWS has, WorldWaterSkiers.com. Out, we can see his tournament personal best, 2 at 10.25.
And shout out, of course, to Worldwide Water Skiers, bringing us this webcast. Sponsored these worlds with the webcast. Not actually working right now, but we're getting close. The team are working feverishly. We've had internet. We had a storm here last night. Internet issues. So I know. Shout out to everyone who's trying to listen on the webcast and wondering what's going on. We will be with you shortly. Okay, 10.75. Not a bad start on 1. Martin Coleman's got 2. Can he get to 3?
Oh,
Here's a crack. Good on him. Put your hands together. Martin Coleman. He's going to end up with 2 boys. He was desperately trying to get to 3 because he thought he might need to get to 3 to make the final. We will wait and see.
is he all right down there?
2 boys on the 10.75 from Martin Coleman. Big yard sale there, of course. Big out the front, off the front of the skis. He'll be happy, though, I think. 2 boys on the 10.75. That's the sort of score that could just get you into a slalom final, I think. I think that's about where the bobble's going to be.
Yeah, totally agree. But to be fair, he was never going to make 3 ball. He's coming out of 2 way too hard. But, you know, he gave it a good crack, so fair on him. Next up is Thibaud Daylan from France. Thibaud's been here, probably one of the longest competitors to be training here together with his brother Tanguy. I think they've been here a whole month before the tournament, so they're going to want to have a good showing here.
Thibaud Daylan now. Great athlete out of France, of course. Personal best of 3 at 10.25 in the slalom. One of the guys in the battle for the overall. Didn't trick quite so well yesterday, though. A little bit like Felipe Miranda, came out of the overall with a trick round as an overall skier, wishing they had got a little more.
Right.
It's a nice opening pass. I think 13 metre by the look of it. Did you hear the start line length, Pippa?
No, I didn't.
Pretty sure it was 13 metre. Based in Claremont, Florida. Does a lot of training at Jack Travis's water ski school, of course, Sunset Lakes. Last time I caught up with Tanguy, he was working as a real estate agent, I think.
Yeah, he's still a real estate agent. Thibaud's the real estate agent, yeah.
Sorry, Thibaud.
So, yeah, he started on 14. He'll be coming back on 13 now. And these guys actually are from Mauritius, right?
Yeah, they are originally from Mauritius.
Abidjan. He didn't get a good trick yesterday, but his personal best is 11,800.
Absolutely, and he was wanting to obviously trick up, definitely up over 10, up over 11 to give his overall chances a real boost. I think from memory he tricked just a shade over 9,000 points, so he just wasn't quite there. This is 13, is it?
Yep, coming back in at 13 metre line.
Conditions are holding nicely here at Putrajaya. Very little breeze, if any. Beautiful 5-ball. Round 1 or 6. Will be 1 on the next pass. That's what I was thinking. I was just what was in my head was that 1 ball from the start dock end, which he just went round, is number 6, is a little movie there. I don't know if it's so movie when they come back from the start dock end when it's 1 ball, but when it's 6 ball coming back down, you can see there's a bit of movement there. It's great to have no wind because you get glass calm conditions, but it just shows up every little movement on the water, unfortunately.